Welcome to the
Okay, I
Capital
guess we're good to
Conversations
go.
podcast. Yep, we're good to go. All right. Welcome to the Capital Conversations podcast, where we delve into fascinating world of finance, including private equity, investment banking, venture capital, entrepreneurship, and startups. I'm your host, David Shear, joined by a fellow Tulanean, Holden Kaplan. Today we have a very special guest with us, Harry Gestetner. Harry has an exceptional background, having co-founded Fuel Our Heroes, a campaign supporting frontline workers during the COVID-19 pandemic, before successfully transitioning to becoming the founder and co-CEO of FanFix, a leading monetization platform for Gen Z creators. In just a short period, FanFix has experienced incredible growth, reaching over 15 million creators and fans, and culminating in an eight-figure acquisition by Superordinary. Harry, we're excited to have you with us, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Harry, let's dive right into the journey of FanFix. Can you tell us how you met your co-founder, Simon, and how you guys came up with the idea for the company?
Yeah, so Simon and I went to high school together and have been friends for years now. And we actually had worked together previously on Fuel Our Heroes, the charity you mentioned, and that was our summer after our sophomore year, kind of when COVID hit, and then we that kind of through Fuel Our Heroes, we had a very good lens into the social media landscape and saw it changing with the rise of TikTok. And then fast forward end of 2020, which was halfway through my junior year, my cousin blew up on TikTok, got millions and millions of views, and couldn't make any money. And we were pretty shocked. Did some research, saw that actually creative monetization was very difficult, and it's not an easy thing. And the majority of creators were underserved by brand deals, and brand deals are the number one form of creative monetization. Our thesis was that direct monetization was the future. The big players in the direct monetization space were OnlyFans and Patreon. OnlyFans is a porn site and it's very explicit. The content on there is very explicit, and there's a big stigma to join that platform. And you're naturally joining a platform, you're naturally associated with the extreme of the platform. And so a lot of creators, didn't want that. And then Patreon is much older demographic. It's a desktop first platform. It's a very kind of blocky, outdated experience that we sort of compare to Facebook. And so we wanted to create a Gen Z first, mobile first, TikTok first, exclusive content fan membership platform, and went about and did that. And then actually, I saw a statistic recently that was quite exciting that showed that small to medium size for large creators, brand deals still dominate creator monetization. For small to medium sized creators, actually the number one form of creator monetization now is direct monetization. So that's subscription, paid messaging, tips, etc. And that was exactly our thesis from the beginning. And so that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, it's great to see your thesis playing out like that. It's very exciting. We learned that sort of, as a founder, identifying product market fit is crucial to the success of a startup. When did you sort of know that FanFix had found its product market fit, and what were sort of the key indicators that led you to this realization?
Yeah, I think product market fit, that's sort of the North Star every entrepreneur looks for. It's actually quite simple. Product market fit is, one, for us, in our case, one creator making money from their fans. And that's what we looked for. It took a while, took a few months to get that, but we had one creator who made significant enough money to where it was worth it. And I think it was like $17,000 in their first 2 weeks or something like that. And so we thought, wow, this is proof that we can just go and do this again and again and again, then we have a real business.
Very interesting. What was the sort of the scenario that led to those fans being interested in that creator in particular, if you happen to remember?
Yeah, so there's a lot of talk about the creator economy, or at least now there is. There wasn't really, we were sort of very early on in the creator economy. We like to call it the supporter economy, and that's the term we use now, because the main reason for direct monetization being a thing and fan membership being a thing is fans are very willing to support their favorite creators, and they see the amount of work that goes into creating the content and the toll it takes, and being so passionate, they're very willing to support their favorite creators.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Nice. And then Harry, you and Simon don't really come from computer science backgrounds. What was the process like to find and hire those software developers in order to get to that minimum viable product?
Correct. So Simon and I are both non-technical, which is relatively theoretically it's rare in actual in the tech space, and in the sort of startup landscape. In actual fact, statistically, you're no more likely to found a billion-dollar company being technical versus non-technical. So we didn't really see it as a huge disadvantage, and we really played to our strengths. So we knew that we had this idea, we had to somehow get it built, and not an easy thing to get built because we're basically rebuilding Instagram or TikTok, etc. And Instagram has tens of thousands of engineers who have spent decade plus building the product, not to mention billions of dollars. So we needed to somehow match that experience. So we outsourced it. We hired a dev shop, and we signed a 6-month contract. Obviously didn't have the money to pay it, gave ourselves kind of a 4-month runway to raise the money. And we knew that we could cover the first 2 payments ourselves. And then we had sort of 4 months to find money to pay the rest. And that was December 2020, going into my second semester of junior year. And so second semester junior year was definitely busy. Probably didn't have the best grades. I wasn't the best student, but managed to eventually kind of raise the money. And I think of all the things that have happened along the FanFix journey, the coolest feeling was seeing our first big check, big wire come into the account, which was 150K investment. And that was, we got a lot bigger than that in the end, but that was the coolest feeling.
Yeah, that's incredible.
You didn't have to go to classes that day.
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I think I was in. I did go to classes that day, but yeah, definitely.
Maybe with like a new watch on or something like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't. It's a little bit frowned upon if you use investor money to buy watches.
That's a good point. Absolutely, for sure. So I guess it sounds like you're definitely operating on a pretty tight timeline there. Must have been very stressful, and I can only imagine. Many of our listeners, currently students or young professionals, you're juggling multiple responsibilities, much like you did sort of throughout this process. Can you discuss sort of some of the challenges you faced in growing your business, raising capital, and balancing your academic commitments sort of as a full-time student? Sounds like that's just a lot on your plate there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it definitely wasn't easy, and starting a business is definitely not easy. Starting a business as a student is much more difficult. But look, that's difficulty is kind of the moat to what makes success rare, and success was common, it wouldn't be success. So I think it's a couple of things. It's primarily using the pressure and using the stress to fuel you rather than drowning in it, I think is the main thing. And same thing goes for competition. Competition is a very good test of an entrepreneur. Either it will fuel the entrepreneur to build a better business, or it'll break them and destroy the business. So using it to fuel you, and then I think you just got to have perspective. And it's like, I think I actually saw starting a business as a student as a big advantage rather than a disadvantage, because if it fails, everyone expected it to fail, and you're kind of where you started, and you're still just a student. Whereas, you start a business when you got 3 kids, a wife, and a mortgage. It's like the pressure's on, and you really got to perform then. Whereas I was very lucky. I knew that if the business failed, I'd still have a roof over my head. I'd still, have the commons to go to, my meal plan, and everyone was expected to fail already. So I actually saw being a student as a big advantage rather than disadvantage.
Well, absolutely. So it's that the I guess increasing demand for personalized content has driven creators to focus on creating content tailored to their audience's needs. So as you've mentioned, how has FanFix helped creators to achieve this personalization?
Yeah, so I think that the main thing that our fans are looking for, and the main reason that they make that purchasing decision, is they're craving authenticity and access. Access is just being a part of the club, being a member of your favorite creators community, and just having kind of grown up with unlimited content at our fingertips. For Gen Z, it's made exclusive, gated, paywalled content and membership kind of all the more powerful. And then authenticity, what's posted on Instagram, what's posted on TikTok, what's posted on YouTube is so highly edited, it's so highly curated, and that's what's going out for the world to see. That's led fans and creators to really crave just a much more authentic look at the creators' lives. And so I think we saw that with the rise of finsters and spam accounts, which, for people listening who don't know what those are, many creators and just kids our age, will have these called finsters, like fake Instagram or spam account, where because what they post on their main Insta or main TikTok is just so curated and edited, it's just a closer and kind of more authentic and intimate look at their lives. So we didn't reinvent the wheel. We just allowed people to kind of put a paywall on what they were already doing, which is creating these kind of more authentic accounts.
And is there a certain type of content creator you're going after? I know in the podcasting space, there's a lot of paywalls to get maybe another podcast per week or something along those lines. Are you guys really looking for all content creators, or is there a specific kind of genre?
Yeah, so our niche is Gen Z first, TikTok first creators, and that still have high community levels with high cross-platform following. So we don't really mind about number of followers. We honestly barely even look at that. We care about kind of the depth of the following rather than the size of the following. So we look for creators that have Discord channels, creators that have Reddit threads, creators that have Snapchats. These sort of high community bearing platforms are a very good tell as to whether the creator will convert or not.
And then obviously in the news right now, we're seeing the AI revolution. What do you think the effect of AI will have on the democratization of celebrity status and really on the content creation community as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited by it. I think the main stress for creators are generally is the amount of time it takes, the time, money, and effort that it takes to create and distribute content. I think there are plenty of generative AI applications that will streamline the creation and distribution of content. And as an example, you can very easily, if you're a TikTok, you can very easily use generative AI to dub your videos in every single language and then distribute that content for to create an international fan base. So I think that's a very interesting application. And I think it's going to be in the greater entertainment industry. It's going to bring the cost of production down significantly and the barrier to entry down significantly. The quality of movie or song that you'll be able to produce from your dorm room using generative AI for $20-$50 is going to be not far off what a studio can create for hundreds of millions of dollars. So I think that's going to be a good thing. It's going to democratize the entertainment industry. I also think there are definitely going to be negatives. Obviously, if you saw the AI dubbed song with Drake and The Weeknd recently, that caused some controversy, and there are going to be some rights and usage issues. But I think overall, I think the positive will outweigh the negatives.
And that Drake song is scary good.
It was really good. It was really good. And yeah, although I do think it was slightly overblown. I mean, it wasn't actually an AI generated song. It was an AI kind of voice dubbing software where someone actually sang the song, but just changed their voice to Drake and The Weeknd's voice. But it was a very good song.
Yeah, there's an AI app now called 11 Reality, I believe, or something along the
Uh,
lines. And you can give it like a 30-second soundbite of you talking, and then it can dub any content or do text to speech with your own voice. So I've been studying for my science final, just like
uh,
having it like speak to me on the notes, and that's been pretty helpful. Kind of wild that exists. It's a little
yeah,
scary, but yeah, so
I
we
know.
made it sort of to our rapid fire question
Sure.
section. So we've got a series of quick questions, and you respond with sort of the first answer that comes to mind, if you're ready for that.
Yep.
Cool. So favorite book for entrepreneurs?
Favorite book, I think probably Cold Start Problem is interesting. Kind of talks about how to get from 0 to 1 and how to get virality.
Awesome. One habit that makes you more productive?
I think making an effort to wake up early, move your body, go to the gym. I also really like the ice bath. That's cliche. And but I'm just the antithesis of a morning person. But I find my productivity is so much higher if I've woken up early, gone to the gym, and kind of moved my body.
Absolutely. Have you ever done hot yoga? I tried that out for the first time yesterday.
Yeah, I've tried it once. It's very hard. It's
Yeah.
difficult.
Oh, it's impossible.
Yeah,
After like it's an hour-long session, I went with a couple buddies, and they were like
yeah,
trying to warn me that it was going to be difficult. I was like, it's all right, I
yeah.
got it. After like 10 minutes, I was just like on the floor doing nothing.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very brutal.
Yeah. Well, so maybe what's a best piece of advice that you've received?
Best piece of advice, I think, is probably just do it. The longer you wait, the riskier it gets. And I think that's a great, I think being a college student entrepreneur is a great example of that. As I was saying earlier, the longer you wait, the riskier it's going to get. You might as well just do it now.
Absolutely. One word to describe your entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, God, one word, probably, um, probably difficult. Not
Sure.
easy. But I think probably persevering's a better word.
Mhm.
It's never going to be easy, but you also never really think it's going to be easy going into it. So you have to be persevering.
Absolutely. That's great advice. So, Harry, it's been a pleasure having you on Capital Conversations. Your insights into the creator economy, staying ahead of the trends, building relationships are truly valuable to our young professional and student listeners. Appreciate your time and expertise. We wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Awesome, David Holden. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Cheers.